How to Improve Duel Links, a shitty presentation by moi. For the first thing, fix universal skills to be at other decks' power levels. Skills like level duplication and the like have no real reason to stay nerfed. I understand that hand-fixing skills like balance, restart, and all of that are fine. They can stay nerfed. I understand that, but dear God, why the hell are so many generic skills just dead? A lot of decks could really use a generic skill to take advantage of when all these themed skills are generating a whole combo for you for free. Why the hell can't we have skills that any deck can use? I don't know, a simple send a card to the graveyard skill really wouldn't hurt anyone at this point, especially considering the fact these broken skills are sending multiple cards to your graveyard, adding cards to your hand, and giving you a blowjob through the fucking screen for free. For example, the hero skill. You literally generate free card advantage just for activating it. And it makes me really have to question what choices there are in the balance system, because every single time I play this game, it's like every meta deck is just whatever deck can abuse a skill the most and also still have a good engine on top of it. And if you don't have a good engine and a skill that is outright broken, you're not doing anything. So there's literally no reason not to just add some universal skills and fix other ones just to make it so other decks can actually play the game. The amount of decks that are low-key playable but they get nothing because all these skills are genuinely just broken as hell is ridiculous. Don't just say, okay, every archetype gets a skill, because that's dumb. If every archetype is getting a skill, then there's no real creativity because you're just limiting yourself via a skill. We need more creativity. We shouldn't have to build the same goddamn 3 decks all the time. It's really cringe, and it makes the game extremely unfun. For God's sake, we have basically a pot of greed called Allured by Darkness in a skill, but it's only for dark type decks. You know what would be hype? Just simply giving more decks an actual skill to use, because even Allured by Darkness, as you can see in this image, isn't seen anywhere. The next thing is to give new players a goddamned chance. I think one of the biggest issues in Duel Links is the fact that new players have no easy way to play into the meta, simply because to make a working deck, you need expensive-ass staples that are all URs. Some examples: Forbidden Droplets, literally Book of Moon, etc., 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 etc. Every hand trap, pretty much. Simply adding a method of letting new players get free staples, old or new, would be a godsend. I'm continuing this on the next slide. Here's some ideas on how to make these staples accessible. Our first idea comes from revamping the duel quizzes early on. Here we can add cards like Fiendish Chain, which overall fell off outside of Resonators using them simply because of, again, a skill. Really cringe. Just old staple cards to give new players a fighting chance. This results in just having more focus on the engine of your deck instead of this same damn staple cards you have to fish for every goddamn time. In this sense, it gives people a way to deal with stuff. Some examples include Book of Moon, Paleozoic Canadia, Raigeki Break, Karma Cut, Forbidden Lands, Mystical Space Typhoon, Cosmic Cyclone, Ballista Squad, Fiendish Chain, Herald of the Abyss, Treacherous Trap Hole, Vermilion Dragon Mech, stuff like that. You can even put these behind just generally how the game works. So, for example, you can put duel quizzes like, please destroy this board with these cards, and then those cards are able to now be given to the player for free. Cosmic Cyclone, for example, just the importance of whether or not a card needs to be banished or destroyed, stuff of that nature. Just the ability to teach the players the game while also giving them a free copy of a really good card is so good. It helps new players immensely. When every deck is taking 40k gems, you're starting off with 4,000 at most on average, and you have no way of playing any deck at all unless you're grinding your cock and balls off is ridiculous. My second idea, though, is simply giving a truly accessible free choice of deck for newer players. I mean fully built and cracked out, like 3-ofs in decks. Update them regularly about once a year with some random deck with suboptimal staples to make profits still come in for those staples while giving them an actual engine to work with, a skill to boot. Give these decks a skill. Make it only choosable once, so that way they're locked into that deck. They only get that one choice. Keeping all of them at similar power levels is important. This gives every new player some form of deck to look at and use, and you can increase the selection of them every year. Simply adding like 3 every year to the ongoing list is fantastic. It makes the system of the game so much easier for new players to get into, because now people are able to just pick the game up, have a somewhat workable deck that can actually play into the game, and not just only have the single player experience unless they have like a group of friends they can play it with, because God knows that's never going to happen unless you're lucky, like genuinely lucky. And a majority of the community, unfortunately, is locked behind just meta. There's no for fun communities like anywhere at all. It is genuinely borderline impossible to find these because it's just so inaccessible to play this game. And it's stuff like this that I think really needs to come into light and focus on just making the game more playable, okay? And with that said, fuck structured X, man. Like, the fact, just read this while I'm yapping. Why the hell do we have to pay real money just to get more than one copy of these? It's so ridiculous, so dumb. You know what would be nice? You know what would be absolutely fantastic? Simply having the ability to just buy them 3 times with gems. It's not that hard. Even Master Duel has this. Like, they have the Dragon Maid structure deck. The last time I played, that was the last thing that they made. I have no idea what else they had. And that deck was considered rogue. I heard they made a Sword Soul one while that deck was tier 2. So they even had meta ones. And for, like, God's sake, you know what would be even more cool, though, than all of that? Just simply adding, like, older boxes in the form of structure decks, okay? For example, let's say 2 people really want to play extremely old meta decks, and they just want to go and have a good time playing old meta. It's, like, completely useless on ranked. Utterly garbage. None of the cards are going to see any play, like, whatsoever. Just building a deck with the engines from a certain box and under or something would be cool. For example, a Daedalus deck. You have your Sphere Karibos, you have your Daedaluses, you have your Unshaven Anglers, your free-to-play cards that you have to go and grind up and everything. Just give them a deck that they can just buy immediately and then go like, oh, hi friend, let's go play like metas from the first 5 boxes or something and just, you know, buy them for 500 gems and go and have a good time. The thing about Duel Links is I feel like it's so focused on the competitive aspect while also making it extremely hard to get into. And it's that reason why I literally never see new players succeed. It's basically, oh, if you're someone who's getting into the game, this game is just not for you. You're never going to get anywhere because there's hardly any resources. You don't actually learn the game consistently. I feel like Master Duel does a better job at this. It gives you so many free decks. It gives you so much free stuff just at the beginning of the game. And just that alone gives you so much for fun value. You have all this value just for fun. Even having this is just such a godsend because you're able to just at least have a deck. And yeah, it's even better over there just simply because of the crafting system. It's easier to get into. This game, not so much, and this is why I think the structure decks should be buyable, because at least then you can make a deck if you just have, like, 3,000, like 750 gems, which you basically already have at the start of the game when you first log in. Next up, make leveling your just leveling not as hard, bro. It's not even hard, it's actually just tedious. It's really, really tedious, and it takes a long, long, long time. Why? What is the purpose of this? To give more content, well, quote unquote content for early game? Or whenever levels release on a character? Why does it take so long just to get a character from 1 to 30? Just one. That's ridiculous. Characters shouldn't take like 5.5 hours of constant grinding just to get to fucking level 30, dude. They shouldn't. They should cost maybe half of that at most. It is ridiculous. I shouldn't have to sit there busting my ass off or having to spend money on vagrants that don't even get you to that point, by the way, unless you spend a ton of money. And I understand that this is a business tactic, but the most important part of a game, especially a free-to-play gacha game, are its free-to-play players, because then who the hell are the whales going to brag to? If everybody's just sitting there eating shit when it comes to grinding the game, nobody's having a good time and everybody is suffering. So basically, just make this easier. Just make this easier. Even making it so that way we have auto duel at the gate is a huge godsend. It's just so hard to just sit there and play the game for hours straight just to get a character to level 30. Be better. Next up, fix login bonuses and add daily missions, please. To the side, the image here, we have a image of basically what a login bonus could look like. The first round, or the first part, is 100 gems, and then it goes to the 15 box chips, blah, 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 blah. It'll go to day 20, okay? Or day 15. You can reset this 2 times a month. The first half can have the UR dream, and then the second half can have something else. So you have your first half of the month to look forward to, or this can be the second half of the month's login bonus. So 15 days, we'll say 15. For the first 10, you obviously have your 2 front runners, and then you get an SR dream ticket at the end, which I think is pretty fair. Then you have the first slot, which focuses more on box chips and gems, rather than your SR and UR dream. This allows players to focus more or less on what they actually want to achieve. Because a UR a month isn't that bad at all. And I think that you could easily implement this every month and you would barely see much else change. Forcing the person to choose between what they'd rather go for and grind for is just so nice, because you have one that's more focused on just those box chips, and then you have one that's more focused on dual orbs and grinding gems, while also having your immediate 50 box chips. And then you have your last reward, which is just a UR dream, and your login bonus just ends right there. In this whole context here, essentially you are fine and you gain a bunch of stuff, and every month now feels actually rewarding to play, because every day I play Duel Links, outside of when I first start the game on a new account for the 9 cajillionth fucking time, I have no reason to log in, like ever, unless I'm testing a new deck or doing something. The player engagement on how login bonuses and daily stuff works is so, non-existent. I have nothing to look forward to when playing the game other than if I have a bunch of friends or a group of friends I'm playing with and we're all on an equal playing field grinding something or doing something from scratch, might I add. It's stuff like this that makes me think, maybe if they just made actual stuff to be better than it'd be fine. They don't even have to be this ridiculous of rewards, just rewards that actually feel rewarding to actually log in and see on a daily basis. And it's not like, you don't even have to put the You Are Dreams that far up. Even having them just beyond the box chips is more than enough. They don't need to have the most recent boxes. Just make the whole thing actually worth logging into. I shouldn't have to log into the game and feel an existential dread of, oh, I got nothing today, I'm gonna log off. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It makes playing the game so much harder than it actually should be. The game shouldn't be a constant tedious grind just to stay up to date, with all due respect. Dokkan, for example, pretty much gives you a single summon every day. Many other games give you about a summon a day. Starseed, for example, Osnia Trigger, was giving me about a multi or two a week if I just played the game. Blue Archive gives me a multi or so a week as well if I just play the game. What am I getting from Duel Links? Nothing. Like I said, I have no incentive to log in unless I'm trying to grind an event or I'm doing something with friends. I call these login paths. You just choose a path and you go down it. And there's 15 days. You just enjoy yourself. Next up, make the events actually worth playing, for the love of God. Most of the time we grind them for literally no reason. We just sometimes auto-duel at the gate for like some hours because at least we can do something on the side while we are grinding them, because we don't have to look at the goddamn screen and our cards. We can just let the auto-duel bot do it for us. Just add some kind of value into the event, because all we get are the average and frankly useless cards that they seem to put there. Sometimes there's a few that are good, and it's because of a broken skill for a deck. And that's just bullshit. Notice a pattern here. It's just broken skills making the game so much dumber than it should be. Some ideas I have include gems, approximately 500 overall in the event, just to get to the character you unlock before even applying daily stuff. Just 500 gems on the trip there to getting your character unlock. Not that difficult, and it's not even that crazy, because that's like when a box releases, okay? Very nice. It's generous enough, and it's not crazy. There's an incentive to get to the character that is unlocked. And if it's a rerun, there's still an incentive to play the goddamn event, other than whatever brand new card you throw in there for no reason. Because Lord knows, when Rin and Lulu came back, nobody played that event whatsoever. Why? Because every card that got added was fucking useless. Some ideas include gems, as I said earlier, and maybe add box chips and the like. Just make the grinding of these events actually worth doing. Next up, collab with other games outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ones. You know it would be peak a Dokkan and Duel Links crossover. It just would. You have the ability to have monsters being summoned in another damn game. That game literally gives you like the idea of an LR Yu-Gi-Moto or something. Wow, he just summoned Dark Magician for his Ultra Super attack. That's fucking sick. That's cool. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, the idea of that is cool. To have other games reference you and you reference them. One of my favorites for this idea is Blue Archive. And the entire reason is because, I have an unhealthy obsession with one of the characters from there, specifically Asuna Ichinose. But we can move past that for just a moment here. Just add anything that's interesting. It could be Persona. It could be, hell, some random anime. It could be some random game, whether it be a gacha or not. Just add something interesting. Add something interesting to the game. New content that you can't find anywhere else in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the coolest possible thing that can happen. And when stuff like that happens, it makes players excited because now they're like, oh, my favorite series could collab with this and I could play a deck based around my favorite anime or my favorite game. And I think that is so cool. I think it's a good idea. I genuinely do. Oh, and if it hits the fan well enough, if it goes and makes a big splash, well, you also can just upgrade the cards and put them into the normal game, and then eventually, when the meta goes far enough, update the cards from the previous meta that is in the main game to the Duel Links game. So now you have awesome collaborations like Magic the Gathering has been having with like Marvel and all that jazz. With that said, can we get more Duel Links original cards, please? New deck archetypes. Just anything for new Duel Links content. The fact we have such a lack is ridiculous. Be more creative. Be experimental. We have 2 formats we can work with too. Just something to be interesting. Anything. We have literally nothing that keeps us coming back to the game thinking, oh yeah, this is exciting. This is fresh. This is new. Being able to just test a card's power level in another game is just fantastic. Like, for example, want to go buff Rose Dragons? Okay. Give Akiza a cool skill with a new monster behind it or something. Test it out. Oh, it goes well? Okay, next month you can release a box revolving around it and give it some support depending on how much it's doing to the meta. You literally have a website called Duel Links Meta you can go look at where that's like the only kind of tournaments that we have outside of the KC Cup and all of that jazz. I think that's something you should be doing. Just the lack of fresh new content that's exclusive to Master Duel and Duel Links is ridiculous. Overall, we have a lot that needs to be worked on. We need new players to have an easier time getting into the game. We need an easier time for us to grind up characters. We need an actual reason to log in consistently other than playing the game. Collabs would be cool. Events need real playability. Structure decks should be buyable with gems 3 times, and we most certainly need Duel Links original archetypes and cards. Oh, and fix ranked. We shouldn't need to play 40 games bare minimum for 300 gems a month. That's just ridiculous. And on the concept of other than playing the game, there's not a lot to do in the game, let's be real here. Unless you want to sit there playing Yu-Gi-Oh! All day, and heaven knows that's not the average person playing this game. You just need to make it easier for players to actually do things, with all due respect. Anyways, if a Konami employee hears this whole video, thank you. Please apply these. Duel Links would be so much more fun for the average person if it wasn't a slog and you just gave us interesting stuff to do and interesting things to look forward to. Make us actually have to think, oh, this type of stuff can happen? Oh, then at any moment these things can happen. Even Puni Puni has stuff like this. It's a children's game and they have borderline ecchi anime like frickin', what's it called? The quintessential quintuplets. They literally have swimsuit units, bro. They have swimsuit ponies. And you're telling me we can't have collabs, bro? Just do it. It'd be cool. It'd be fine. Please, just make that step to making the game better. That's all.